Are we going to war against Venezuela?
I doubt it. I don't think so. But they've been treating us very badly, not only on drugs. They've dumped hundreds of thousands of people into our country that we didn't want. People from prisons, they emptied their prisons into our country.
Let's get ready to rumble. As tensions continue to flare between America and other parts of the world affected by its foreign policy, it's important to understand the reasons people come here and the reasons we should consider them, starting with proximity. The two biggest sources of immigrants for the United States are Latin America and India. Each of their reasons for coming here differ. That matters. That's relevant and should be taken into account when considering how to handle our respective immigration policies. Please let me explain the key differences. Push versus pull migration. Latin Americans come to the U.S. due to sharing a border, however arbitrary you think it is. Economic and political instability pushes them to us, the nearest safe haven. However, H-1B migrants are pulled here due to positive professional prospects.
Comms check. Target acquisition in 2 minutes. Prepare for deployment.
India's levels of education are much higher, however, the need for their skills may be dropping as technical automation continues at breakneck speed. There was a clip of J.D. Vance telling an Indian person they can't come here anymore, and it's supposed to be this whole sad thing. But what if they believe we don't really need Indian immigrants as much as we used to? Most of their skill sets we've been importing for have been automated. There's nothing left to computer program. What does higher education mean? Physics? Would that feel like higher education when there was nothing left to innovate and only everything to maintain? Mexicans will preserve the machine world. If we learn Spanish, it will help get rid of Tren de Aragua. I am trying to appeal to both sides here. What is left to innovate? What is there to maintain? Technical infrastructure, trades, maintenance. India has provided the brains, but not the brawn. We need brawn now. We need trades and we need upkeep. I mean, unfortunately, I can't really do any of that shit. While maintaining the idea that everyone needs to go back, that remigration is the solution, has suddenly become more common in the last year, it's worth considering the relevancy of certain regions and their relationship to us. Latin America should get preference when it comes to immigration sympathy. The volume may be higher, but they can benefit us more long term than India can, except in matters of Eastern regional foreign policy. So the reason Trump would threaten war with Venezuela is curbing drugs and the political ideology of Nicolas Maduro and Venezuela's socialist regime. Oh, and what a coincidence, oil! India's relationship with Britain is different. We, America, don't really have a military history with them. Some U.S. forces were briefly stationed there during World War II, but other than that, we haven't fought for anything together, except the future expectation that we'll need them when it comes to China. When it comes to Latin America, especially Mexico, even our lingual structures are more compatible. This whole go back to Mexico thing is stupid. But going into Venezuela will only push the negative aspects up like a stomach acid that will vomit all over certain areas of our country. We need to learn Spanish. We're not compromising on our American values by doing so. In fact, I think we're strengthening them. Make Spanish mandatory in school. Forget this whole Romance languages thing in California schools. No more French or German, just make it more practical. While Trump most recently said that Maduro's days are numbered, he also says he doubts the U.S. will go to war with Venezuela, so there's a lot of room for interpretation there. Of course, Dan Crenshaw supports the military action we've taken in the Caribbean, probably because he has an eye patch. I mean, the joke writes itself. I don't even need to point out that he looks like a pirate. What's a good change for Blackbeard? Like Cuckbeard? Oh, I'm still pretty bad at this. I'd be really interested in reading what the New York Times had to say if I didn't have to pay $11.99 a month to cherry pick it. Given where we are on the map, I think if we're going to be moving towards isolationism, we should at least hope that that gives us the ability and the bandwidth to focus on the parts of the world that are more geographically relevant. Let's do Canada next. I want to know what in God's name's going on up there. In fact, war with Venezuela will probably help start off that process. At least that's what I would assume the administration thinks. As lines become more clear, sides will be more quickly decided. Everyone's having a little fun right now because no one knows what they may actually need to commit to in the coming future. In this new and unclear middle ground, we find ourselves playing around with the taboo or the insensitive to see what we can get away with, but in the end, we may need to be held accountable. While invention into Venezuela might seem sudden, unfortunately. While we're discussing this whole immigration issue, I want to remind the folks who are worried about the families from South Africa saying, oh, Trump is a hypocrite, he won't let in folks from Mexico, but he'll let in white South Afrikaners. There were like 12 South Africans. Like, you could count them on your hand how many South Africans came to this country, as opposed to like 2 million.